What's going on, game players? How are you, brothers and sisters, doing? I want to welcome each and every last one of you guys to Listener Feedback, episode number 9. We are on episode 9, and I think we're doing pretty fine. Now, this week, we have had quite a few people write in, so I want to shout you guys out right from the start. This episode of Listener Feedback will be starring Cody Clark, Sir William X, One Subset Tekken, Glovebox Gaming, Vaughn, and a new person that is writing in for the first time, Solely Golf. I want to thank you guys once again for writing in this week, and we're gonna have a real good time going over you guys' questions, answers, thoughts, and opinions. Now, you, the listener, before we officially get started, as my voice just cracked right there, you, the listener, listening at this very moment, if you want to be on the next episode of Listener Feedback, you can do it too. That's right, 2 different ways. Either you can call in at 443-216-9934 and let your voice be heard, or you can email the show, and the email address is the Analog Circle Podcast at gmail.com. So without further ado, guys, let's go ahead and get into Mr. Cody Clark's email to get us started this week. Now, the title of Mr. Cody Clark's email is Red, Yellow, Green Lights. Oh, let's hear what Cody is talking about this week. He says, I never had any problems with my 360. Really, Cody? Oh, man, okay. He says, I had a friend who got into the Xbox 360 a year after launch, and he had 3 different 360s all give him the red rings. Yeah, me too, Cody. I had the same thing happen to me. He says before he quit console and went back to PC, he has not given the PlayStation or Xbox a chance since then. For me, the PS3 hack and the online crapping out, them taking away options like the ability to install Linux and other features. Boo! Hiss! Wait a minute, Cody. I think I see where you going with this one. He says, I have an entire ecosystem on the Xbox, tons of friends, and a huge library of games I can re-download and play at my leisure. Plus, if I really feel posh, oh man, that brother used a word right there, college word, posh, I can go join Game Pass for a few bucks a month at a time. Besides massive cross-play games like Fortnite, I can't play with my friends. Not even Overwatch. If Sony did a reasonably priced standalone VR AR setup comparable to Oculus, I'd give that a try. Pardon my French, but F having to have a Facebook account to use VR software. I don't play Minecraft, but I've had a Microsoft account for decades, so that does not bother me. Otherwise, there is literally, oh, come on, Cody. His brother said there is literally nothing Sony can do to save me or save from Microsoft fully pulling out of the console market that would ever even have me consider picking up a PlayStation again. God dog. He says, I missed what? Spider-Man? Shucks. Horizon Zero Dawn looked neat. I am sad I missed it. I don't care about dad or war. God, come on, Cody. The disrespect, brother. All of the disrespect and slander. My goodness. Called it dad of war. He said it's like a car. Sure, there are awesome cars out there, and we all have our favorites. Yeah, me, I wouldn't mind getting a Panamera myself, brother. But let me continue with your email here. He says, I would love a Nissan GTR. That's a nice car, brother. He says, I doubt I'll ever be able to afford one, but I like them. I love the new Dodge Challengers, and they are almost in my wheelhouse, but I don't give a flying whoop about Mustangs, Chargers, Camaros, or Corvettes. If a cheap one of the latter fell into my lap, I'd probably find a way to like it. If a new Sony console fell into my lap, I'd eBay that jam as fast as my fingers could move. My goodness, Cody. Brother, good grief. You have just assaulted the whole PlayStation brand, my brother. This guy said, a dad of war, talking about, he is just upset at PlayStation. It is nothing they can do. This brother said, man, come on, Cody. You brought up the hack of the PlayStation 3. Brother, that was like almost 10 years ago, Cody. Man, oh man, this brother said he had the 360. He's in the Xbox ecosystem. He enjoys it there. That's where his friends are. And then when Cody hit us with that college word, posh, if he wants to feel that way, he can go over there and then even pay the extra bucks for Game Pass to get games. Good grief. Cody, I tell you, brother, man, oh man, I would have thought that VR, even Cody said even if they had that, he might give it a shot. Good grief. I guess, Cody, it is no bringing you over to the PlayStation side. Brother, they got great games, man. The games are awesome. But good grief, dad of war, man, oh man, Cody. Oh man, I guess your mind is completely made up. And there's nothing that anybody can say or do to change your mind. Cody, I want to thank you, brother. Good gosh. I thought, man, maybe we would be able to sway you this time out, but I guess not. Cody said he is sticking to his guns. Man, oh man, shout out to you, Cody. Brother, I appreciate you writing in every single week, man. And I did get your, the article that you sent me about. It was a Kotaku article talking about PlayStation over in Japan. Now, you know what? What's interesting about that, I understand they're not going to be selling it in retail stores. I mean, pretty much same thing like here. You won't be able to just walk in and pick one up. But there was some talks, and y'all going to have to pardon my voice, man. My voice is a little hoarse for some reason this week. But yeah, it's been some talks too that Japan is starting to fit. Now, keep in mind, I didn't read the story, so I don't know exactly what's going on, but it seems like Japan feels like Sony is turning their back on them right now. Now, I don't know exactly what that has to do with. I mean, could it be that the console is so big? Because I had wondered about that. Somebody will have to take me up to date, or I might read it later on today. I doubt it, but if I come across it, I will. But yeah, it would be interesting if Sony, or if Japan feels like Sony is turning their back on them. I know the console is huge, and we know that over there they like things a lot smaller, so it'll be an interesting conversation to see if things happen over there in their own home soil that people may be turned off by the company, at least gaming wise. So have to definitely keep an eye on that. But once again, Cody, I appreciate this email, brother, and please continue to write in. Matter of fact, man, just man, not even a controller, Cody, of the PlayStation 5. I'm hearing great things about it, man. Man, anyway. All right, Cody, you got it, brother. Let me go ahead and move on into the next email. And once again, Cody, thank you again, brother. I really, really appreciate you, man. Next up, we have a email from Mr. Sir William X. Shout out to you again, brother, for writing in. He says, Sir William X here. What's up, Keon? Just letting you know I've redeemed the code from November 4th. That's going straight to Apex Legends. First off, let me do this, brother. Congratulations on you getting the card. I'm very, very happy for you, brother. He says that's going straight to Apex Legends. Also, I have to admit, I laugh at the idea of taking off from work for a game, but then I realized that's in a hypocritical fashion. He says, I was late as heck leaving for work because I was totally immersed in this new world of Season 7 of Apex Legends. So apparently, I should have scheduled off for the occasion. I've been there. Hey, Sir William X, brother, it's been times I'm sitting playing the game, and I know the clock is running, but I'm like, man, just 5 more minutes. Good grief, I got you, brother. He says, luckily, I drive trucks, so are you ever actually late? Again, thanks for the code. No doubt, man. Shout out to Vaughn again for that. Thank you so much, Vaughn. And Mr. Sir William X is thanking you as well. He says, and just to share and affirm everyone else's sentiment, I'd be listening regardless of gifts. Oh, man, I appreciate that, brother. He says, but it's definitely an awesome bonus surprise. Question. Whatever happened to the game theater portion of the show? I used to really enjoy that. However, I don't think you always revealed what game the audio was which left me questioning the game. Suggestion. Have you ever considered putting the phone number and email in the show notes? It makes for convenience. Anyways, keep doing what you do. I'm over a year enjoying the show. Wow, shout out to you, brother. He says, Vaughn and Keon, thanks for the code. My 10-year-old son, who's also an Apex addict, will also appreciate it. Be safe out there. Man, Sir William X, thank you, brother. Thank you for this great email, man. I really, really appreciate it. And once again, shout out to you, Vaughn, for having the code, giving it to the community. Thank you again so much for that, brother. But you had asked a couple of things in here. What happened to video game theater? Man, I'm gonna tell you, brother. Wow, yeah, you have been listening for a while, because I cut that off. Man, that's been a minute ago. I stopped doing it because I figured that maybe it slowed down the pace of the show. I thought that people didn't really enjoy it, but I mean, I'm pretty shocked, Sir William X, that you actually enjoyed that section of the podcast. I thought that maybe it kind of slowed it down a bit. So I was like, well, I'll just cut it out to maybe cut the show down by a minute or two, not to have you guys here for so long. But man, maybe I'll consider putting that in, man. I mean, because I love doing it. And you're right, Sir William X. I never said what the game was from the beginning. I mean, I should have done a better job at that, but I didn't. So yeah, if I was to do it again, I would definitely do that. Let you guys know this is from Call of Duty or from DMC3 or whatever the case may be. But I'm glad that you enjoyed it, brother. I appreciate that feedback. And you were asking why didn't I put the phone number and the email in the show notes. If you noticed, brother, I took I had read your email. I was out on the road. I read your email. I believe it was over the weekend when I had read it, and I had saw where you had put that down in the email. Why don't I put the phone number and the email in there? And the reason why I didn't do it for so long was because I used to post the podcast up on N4G, but for some reason it kept getting flagged down. So it's not there anymore. But when I would post it there and I would try to put the phone number in, it would always seem like it was a problem. They didn't want the phone number in there for whatever reason. So I got into the habit, because I had been posting on N4G for years, man. So I had gotten the habit of not putting the phone number or the email address in the notes, the show notes, because they would always flag it down for that reason. So over the weekend, as you noticed, if any of you guys have downloaded the regular podcast, you guys will see that I put it in the show notes, and that's actually thanks to you, Sir X-Man. It's definitely, I called you Sir X-Man, Sir William X, pardon me, brother, but it's definitely because you had made that suggestion, and that it kind of triggered me to say, yeah, you can do that now. The podcast isn't up on N4G anymore, so go ahead and throw it in the notes. So I definitely appreciate that. This is why I'm telling y'all, man. This is why it is so important to me that I hear back from you guys. You guys can help me steer the ship in a much better direction. I mean, like I said, brother, I would have never thought that anybody missed or liked Video Game Theater or, anything like that. But you, with your feedback, letting me know that it helps me to kind of understand kind of which ways to navigate, which things to keep, which things to maybe drop, things to add, so that's why it's just important to me to hear from you guys. And I really, really appreciate it too. Really enjoy hearing from you guys on a weekly basis. And, what else did you say? I think that was it, Sir William X. Yeah, man. Once again, I'm glad you got the card. Shout out to you and your son, for playing Apex Legends. I know you said that you had kind of laughed at laughed at being off from work, but like you said, you should have clearly maybe took the day off because you were very excited about the next season. What was it? Season 7 of, Apex Legends. I'm really shocked that game is doing as well as it's doing. Wow. That game has really had some long legs, man. Shout out to them. Good grief. Vincent Pella and his team. That's fantastic. But, Sir William X, once again, I truly appreciated this email, brother. I look forward to hearing from you again, man. And as always, please continue to write in and keep giving your opinion and ideas and things. Really, really appreciate it, brother. Up next, we have Mr. One Subset Tekken. Now, the title of his email is called Gears Popped. Buddy. He says, hello, Keon. Hope all is well with you. Yes, sir. I'm out here, brother. I'm doing all right. He says, as I made myself back to North Carolina, I heard that Gears Popped is coming to a close. I'm a bit upset about it. For me, it was a quick time killer. I've spent about $75 in the game. It won't end till April. I just don't understand why games like this end that seem to be halfway okay. I don't play many phone games, but I did like this one, brother. It is obvious you definitely had a soft spot in your heart for this game, brother. Whoa, $75, brother, you're rich. He continue. He says, has anyone else had a game like this that the developer just stopped supporting it? Also, Sir William X, man, what timing? Sir William X, where are you? Xbox or PlayStation, I've sent out friend requests on both platforms. I'm not the best player, but you're gonna know I'm in there. I'm not a beast. I take a loss and learn from it. I'm never butthurt or braggadocious. I just love competition. Well, I'm done for now. As always, wash your hands, wash your butt, and wear a mask from the 2-stoplight town of Lucama. Peace. And I know I got a couple more of your emails here, one subset, but man, let me tell you something, brother. To be honest with you, one subset Tekken, man, I had a problem with Gears Pop since I first saw it. I mean, shout out to you, brother, for enjoying it. I mean, obviously, like you had said, $75. Man, that's a nice chunk of money. So it's obvious you enjoyed it, and it was a good game for you. I need you to tell me, what was it about that game that was appealing? I have to know, because one subset, I'm going to tell you, brother, like I said, I had a problem with that game from day one when I saw it, and I had a problem with it because Microsoft, I don't know what the world or who the heck signed off on that, but to have Gears Pop on the E3 stage, I said, man, the Xbox ship is going down in flames, brother. Anytime you say we're gonna put a phone mobile game on the E3 stage, are you nuts? Are you kidding me? So, brother, unlike you one subset, brother, man, I had a problem with this game. I said it doesn't deserve to be on the E3 stage. They tried to make it fun and, you know, kind of make light of it, having little kitty cats coming out in the brutal, whatever. It wasn't a brute. That's doggone Halo. But the one of the characters in the Locust, he wants to act like he wants to hug on the cat. I said, man, what the heck is this? So I had no soft spot for the game like yourself, but I have to know once again, what was it? One subset that had you say, wow, I really like this game. Because when I found out that it was a mobile game, I was out and mad, like I said, at the same time. But no, I've never been a mobile player myself, one subset. The only game that I did get into on my mobile phone was it was a card game, and it had some really good physics in it. I mean, don't get me wrong, it wasn't like an amazing looking game, but I'm a sucker for physics, man, in a game. And you used to have to drive your car around this rough terrain or these different courses, but you had to make sure that the car never toppled over. So that was a lot of fun to me. But outside of that, though, one subset, I've never really got into the mobile phone game scene, as it were. But please, man, tell us, we all want to know what subset, what was it about Gears Pop that just really made you say, man, I'm going to support this? And once again, brother, I'm joking with you about the $75. Of course, you know, you spend your money the way that you want to, brother. It's your hard-earned money, man. But genuinely, I do want to know, what was it about that game that really kept your attention? Shout out to you, brother. I know I got a couple more of your emails coming up here in just a bit, but we're going to move on into the next email. God dog, Gears Pop. Were any of you guys interested in Gears Pop, man? Anyway, I'm going to move on. I'm going to move forward. I'm going to move to the next email. And it is a returning email from Mr. Glovebox Gaming. Shout out to you, brother. He says, now the title of his email, I feel like I'm in a little bit of trouble here, because he says, okay. That's the title of his email. He says, all right, Keon. I knew it. He says, all right, Keon, first things first. You are absolutely one of my favorite. Oh, maybe not. He says you're one of my favorite podcasters, period. That's very, very kind of you, Glovebox. I appreciate that, brother. He says, but you got, but you got some explaining to do. I got some explaining to do. Oh, man. He says, what's the deal with you not taking your PlayStation VR out of the box yet? Buddy. He says, while I know the PSVR is not the best VR experience, that doesn't take away from the epic experiences you are missing out on. RE7 in VR is phenomenal. I heard the same thing, brother. He says, Astrobot is my favorite platformer, period. And everyone knows I get down with Mario. Yes, this brother actually has a man cave with, I believe it's Mario World's 1-1 world. I mean, his joint is amazing. So yeah, I definitely know, Glove Box, that Mario, that's your guy, man. But let me continue. He says, and a whole host of others. Keon, brother, tell me this isn't the case. And by the way, tell Cody Clark, stop hating, cause PSVR is awesome. LOL. I'm trying to tell him, Glove Box. I'm trying to get him on the PlayStation side, brother. This guy is holding firm. He doesn't want to move, man. Let me continue with your email. He says, all right, fam. As you head down 95 South and you pass exit 130, Central Park, Fredericksburg. Yeah, man, I was just down there. He says, shout out your boy, Glove Box. Stay safe on these roads, brother, and I will talk to you next week. Man, Glove Box Gaming, shout out to you, brother. And shout out to you guys for dealing with my voice right now. It's hoarse. I don't know what's going on with it. I'm trying to drink some water to get it together. But, yeah, I got some explaining to do to you, Mr. Glove Box. Listen, brother. All right. This is the situation at hand. I picked up the PlayStation VR. Oh, man, it's been about, golly, man, it might be going on 2 years right now since I've had the PlayStation VR. And, I got it on sale at Best Buy. It was like $150. It came with Astrobot. Came with that for sure. I heard nothing but great things about that game. And it also came with Moss as well. The mouse game or whatever came with both of those for $150. So I picked it up. I'm excited, Glove Box. I am pumped up, man. I'm like, yes, I'm going to take it home and I'm going to love it. Man, brother, you know what? I don't know what the world happened. As the days turned into weeks, weeks turned into months, and months turned into, golly, like I said, I think it's been about 2 years, and I have still not opened it. I think what it was, man, was, I heard that it was so cumbersome and it had so many wires and, you know, it was gonna look like, man, like I had a doggone science project going on with all of the wires and stuff running from the unit to, you know, the VR. I just never got around to it. I mean, this is the thing, Glove Box. Brother, I have a TSXW Thrustmaster steering wheel upstairs, brother. And I have not even opened that. It's like peripherals. I have these grand ideas. Yes, I'm going to use it. It's going to be great, Glove Box. I'm going to enjoy it. And I get them. And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to get to it eventually. Yeah, I'm going to get to it tomorrow. Yeah, I'm going to get to it next week. And it never happens. I know I am cheating myself because I went to Best Buy, Glove Box, and I had played the Star Wars, I think it was Battlefront. I think it was on whichever the first one was that came out this generation. Well, of course it was this generation. But I went to Best Buy and I played that. And man, what an amazing experience. Absolutely phenomenal. I would say. And then I had played what was it? The something worlds that came with the PlayStation VR. If you spent a little bit extra, I had played a couple of those games at Best Buy. Mainly it was just the shark, where you're in the tank and the shark is like poking at the cage that you're in. I mean, amazing experiences, brother, truly and surely. But I just have not opened it yet. I think subconsciously at this moment in time now, Glovebox, I think that I'm just holding on to it until I get the PlayStation 5. And then I'll try to hook it up and see if it's any improvements or anything like that. I mean, I will say, though, they did say that it hasn't really been, now that I'm thinking about it, it's not many improvements that have been done when it comes to the PSVR being hooked up to the PlayStation 5, but I just might wait, man, and see what happens. Maybe they do a firmware update or something. I don't know, but yeah, Glovebox, I need to get on top of that. Mike J, shout out to him. He's always getting on me about that, saying, man, well, why don't you open it? What's the problem? And I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna get to it, man. I mean, man, listen to this, brother. Just to go back a little bit, Glovebox, on how bad I am about opening up certain things. It took me almost a year. It took me over a year to open up my Nintendo Switch, brother. It took me over a year to open it up. I had games and everything ready to go, and I still would not open it. It wasn't until, he wants to remain nameless, so, I will, out of respect. But it was because of that person that they had bought me a game. They bought me, the Legend of Zelda on the Switch. And, I was like, well, dag, if they're gonna do that, I have to open it up. I have to. And it was one of the best experiences that I have had with a Nintendo console since the Super Nintendo. I say it all the time, and I'll say it again. Glovebox, I think that the Nintendo Switch is the greatest Nintendo console that they have ever made, brother. And if it wasn't for that guy that will remain nameless picking up Zelda Breath of the Wild for me, I still wouldn't have opened it up. So, oh man, I got to work on it, brother. I got to work on it, man. But Glovebox, as always, I really, really appreciate you writing in again. Shout out to you too, brother. I saw you got your PlayStation 5 controller. You said it feels good. You like it. You like the way it feels, and you can't wait to get your system on Friday. I think that's when you're going to be doing the unboxing. So make sure that you guys definitely subscribe to Glovebox Gaming's YouTube channel. He'll be doing the unboxings very soon of the Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5. So Glovebox, once again, thank you, brother. It's fantastic to hear from you. Hopefully I explained it good enough. I don't think I'm off the hook, though. I can't be off the hook. I gotta open it up and really play it, man. So hopefully, I've explained it, but I will definitely open it up eventually, Glovebox. I'm going to get to it, brother. But thank you again so much for writing in. It truly, truly means so much. And please continue to write in, Glovebox. Thank you, brother. Let's go ahead and we're going to move into the next email. And once again, I talked about it before, but it is Mr. One Subset Tekken who writes in again and says the title of his email is A Phoenix That Just Did Not Rise. Golly. He says, hello, Keon. I hope all is well with you. Please be safe driving in these streets. Some people are mad. The next time you're driving to this part of North Carolina, let me know and we can chop it up over coffee if I'm available. Most definitely. Absolutely, brother. He says, now I've been a Sega fanboy since the early 90s. I think we all were, brother. It's been Sega's amazing. They were absolutely like the apex of gaming at one point. He says a lot of the IPs I like. Towards the end of the OG Xbox, Sega released an online weapon fighter that for the most part was decent. Iron Phoenix was a little bit before its time. I can vaguely remember what the story was about, but nonetheless, it was a weapon fighter that was good for all accounts. Golly, wait a minute. So hold on. So one subset, are you saying that Sega was the first to have a weapon fighter? Because I remember back in the day, what was it? It turned into Soul Calibur. It used to be Soul Edge, I think, in the arcade, but Soul Calibur, that was the only fighting game I knew that had weapons. That's interesting. Wow. He says it was a little before its time. Yeah, if it had weapons, it absolutely was. Let's see. I vaguely remember it a little bit. Okay, I can vaguely remember what the story was about, but nonetheless, it was a weapon fighter that was good for all accounts, which I think really was not a commercial success. I don't know what it was at the time. Sega has done a lot for the video game industry. Yes, they have, man. Nowadays, would a game like that be received well, or would it just be another mediocre game? It's hard to think of any other weapon-based fighter game other than Soul Calibur. Right, exactly. But someone needs to build it, and people will come. Or maybe I am just thinking too hard. Opinions, thoughts, comments? Also, am I the only one that is starting to see people online, mainly on Facebook, freak out about these new consoles? Complaining, saying that, oh my God, it's overheating, or Microsoft is just taking my money and have not given me a due-by date for my console. Shaking my head. People doing too much. Maybe I'm just over the whole new console thing. As always, wash your face, wash your hands, wash your butt, and please wear a mask from the 2-stoplight town of Lucuma. Peace out. Now, this is interesting, brother, because Iron Phoenix, I have never heard of this game, brother, at all. But you're saying that this was a... Well, wait. No. I'm getting it twisted. You said this was out on the Xbox. So obviously Soul Calibur was out way before the Xbox came out. So yeah, they weren't the first. That wasn't what you were saying. I kind of got your words misconstrued, brother. That was my fault, one subset. My apologies for that, brother. You were just basically saying that Sega had a fighter that they also used weapons, and would something like that be successful today? Man, it's so hard to say, brother, because when you have a genre that's packed with so many great games already, I mean, I'm not really into fighters too much. Like I said, the only fighting game I've ever been into is Fight Night. You know, a boxing game I'm way more apt to play versus, like Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat or Soul Calibur or Dead or Alive, any of those, but like I was saying, with the genre that already has so many IPs that are cemented in it, I don't know if a new fighter could come out and actually get some buzz. I mean, anything is possible, one subset. Anything can happen. They would just have to make it different. I'll say this. Speaking of Dead or Alive, it was one thing that Dead or Alive did that was it was just really, really awesome, and I had never seen it before, and it was the different stages. Like, you could knock somebody off of a platform, and you guys would fall down, and, your guy that you were using would jump down, and y'all would be on another stage, basically, of the same stage. So that kind of stuff, that was, and you know what? That was the thing that made me get, Dead or Alive was that feature. I mean, not to mention the game looked absolutely gorgeous. It was a beautiful game on the 360. But that, having them go through different stages, I was like, this is so cool. It's so different. Something I've never seen in a fighting game before. So I would think in order for a game like that, one subset to be successful, they would just have to do something that's a little outside of the box that we don't have right now in the fighting genre. You know, like Mortal Kombat, they made their staple with the fatalities or the friendships. You know, it was something different we had never seen, and it was so brutal, man. It was such a brutal game. I mean, the sheer violence that was in that game was on a level that gamers had never seen before. So much so, Mortal Kombat single-handedly made the ESRB exist. That was the first game I had ever known that had a rating on it. I think it was like 13 to 17 or something. It was whatever rating it was at the time. Mortal Kombat changed gaming forever. It truly, truly did. So that's what I'm saying, one subset. They have to do something that's a big enough hook to lure people in. You know, that was Mortal Kombat's claim to fame. Street Fighter was just, I mean, hey, it was the first great fighting game we had ever played. I mean, it was others before it. I mean, you had Kung Fu back. No, it wasn't Kung Fu. It was called Karate Champ back in the day, where the guy was in the red and the other guy was in the white. That was a game way before Street Fighter, but it never caught on. Street Fighter, you had more characters to choose from, different environments, backgrounds. So, yeah, they would just have to do something to make it work, one subset, something that gamers have never seen before. And I think that if they can do that, they would be fine. And it's Sega, I mean, Virtua Fighter, come on, brother. We know how you feel about Virtua Fighter and Tekken. I mean, Namco with Tekken. I mean, it's definitely possible that they could do something like that, but they just gotta, you know, kind of stand out and, you know, be able to hold their own. But with Sega behind it, I think they could cook something up. I know they're not what they used to be. I get that. I understand that. But, you know, I would hope that they had a little bit more magic left in the tank, brother. But to get to your second part of your question, talking about the outrage, people getting mad about these new consoles. I haven't heard anything on Facebook, particularly one subset, but Twitter is always ablaze. And we're talking about the PlayStation 5 is overheating at Walmart, and even if it is, I don't know if it's true or not. You know, it's a lot of false narratives that happen over the internet. I mean, you guys know how it goes. I don't know if that's true, that it's overheating, but it would make sense that it would be overheating if it's in a closed-in case. I mean, good gosh, the thing is the size of a NASA ship. It needs room to breathe. And if it doesn't have room to breathe, then, I mean, it's gonna overheat. So I get that. But I will say this. ACG, he's a guy I look at on YouTube. I really like his reviews. He gets very in-depth into the games, and I just really enjoy what he does. ACG, he did say just a couple of hours ago that his PlayStation 5 did die. He did say that. Now, I don't know what happened. I don't know if it was a malfunction. He didn't go into any detail. He did say that Sony is looking into the problem because he said he had some content coming up in the next coming weeks or so, but that's on hold right now because his PlayStation 5 died. And that is once again, you guys know I'm going to have to live vicariously through y'all for the next coming months until I can get myself a PS5 and a Series X. But that's why I wait, man. And once again, it's not to deter any of you guys from getting your consoles. It's nothing that a warranty would not fix. But I try to hold off because I'm so worried about it being a malfunction. And who knows? he might have just got a unit, like 1 out of 10,000 were affected, and he just got the bad batch, so I mean, that's why I wait, man. But yeah. I mean, it's always something going on. One subset, people aren't happy. And because they're not happy and they want to complain, they just make molehills out of the smallest things, man. So, you know how it goes, brother. But, I think I got one more email here from you, one subset, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, I do. Now, this was your final one for this week. And this email is entitled Mass Endurance. He says, hello, Keon. I hope you're doing well. I laugh because it's clockwork, brother. Every single email. I hope you're doing well. He says, these new consoles are right around the corner. It's a good time to be a gamer. I've been gaming since the very early 80s. You and me both, brother. I was 6 years old. So that means it was, 79, 80, 1, 2, 3, 4. I guess, 84, 85, I guess. He says, I have played all different types of games, but one game genre, I've never dove into until the 360 was RPGs. And the first one I dove into was Mass Effect. Boy, did I fall down a rabbit hole. I completed the first Mass Effect at least 8 times, trying to get all of the new story beats that weren't there, trying to get all of the new story beats that weren't the second. Oh, he was trying to get all of the story beats the second, third, and fourth time. He says, I loved it. For me, I know it's not popular, but I prefer the first one over the second one. Wow, what subset? Wow, brother. Are you serious? You like the first one over the second one? Wow. Man, brother, hey, brother, you know what? To each his own. Let me continue on with your email, brother. He says, I love the third one just for the online play. We all know it did not end well. Nah, it didn't, but I thought it was okay. He says, I love the third one just for the online play. Yeah, we know it didn't end well. On N7 Day, BioWare released the trailer for the new Mass Effect Remastered. Yeah, we talked about that. He says, I love it. They're going back to the well and giving it a fresh coat of paint. My question is, will it really be worth the 40, 50, or 60 bucks for the game? If I can't get any new game content, wait a minute. What's up? What you saying there, brother? He says, efforts to be you. He says I'm going to have to skip a little bit here. One subset. He says, we all know that Mass Effect Andromeda was a disaster. Why not try to sell a story that Andromeda dropped the ball on, or another story in the same universe from the story of the Commander Anderson story, like the novel Mass Effect Revelation, which, by the way, was my first novel I read from beginning to end. I have read all of their Mass Effect novels except for 2 of them. That's how deep I am into the Mass Effect universe. I just want the next game to be on the same bar, to be on the same bar as the first and third game, and as well written as the novels. Well, I have rambled on long enough, and as always, drive safe, wear your mask, wash your hands, face, and butt from the little sleepy big town of Lucuma, Peace, brother. Hey, listen, what's up, said? I know I butchered your email, brother, and pardon me. But it was just something, I was trying to piece it together here, my good brother. But I think we got it, man. Yeah, Mass Effect. The Legendary Edition remastered, man. When I heard about this What's Up set, I was so excited, brother. I was clapping, I was yelling, I was just so happy. Cause Mass Effect, it was the first, Mass Effect is another game that broke some new ground when it came to gaming. That was the first game, first franchise I had ever played where it literally, your decisions and things you decided to do with that dialogue tree, it would move into the next game, the second and third. Now, I know it wasn't perfect. I know it was some things that could have been done better, but with this upcoming generation of consoles, man, I just imagine that they would be able to fix that. But getting back to just Mass Effect, it was amazing. It was absolutely like nothing I had ever played before. Making these decisions and real consequences came from the decisions that were made. Unbelievable. So I am excited, and I think it will be worth the money. Of course, it's all subjective. It depends on how much of a Mass Effect fan you were. But for me, one subset, I am absolutely excited about this upcoming remaster, because I'm trying to figure out, is it gonna be, and the 4K textures and all of that stuff it's not necessary, but it is cool. Trust me, I would love for it to be in there. You know, the textures and the faster frame rate, the faster loading times, because you guys remember waiting in that elevator. God, dog, man, that took a long time loading up the next section of the game. So to have those sections also be shortened and load time length, man, I'm all game. I can't wait for this to come out. And one subset, you had talked about it, talking about that they should make another game. Well, if you heard the podcast, brother, you already know Casey Hudson. He said that they are in early development for the next Mass Effect. Now, and he said it's going to be a veteran team as well working on the game. So I don't know where they're going to go. I mean, maybe they'll use, your idea as far as Andromeda, kind of telling it from a different side or a different take. Maybe a different alien race could get involved or something like that. I'm not sure what the plans are going to be, but I'm just excited. Very, very happy. Spring 2021, it'll be released. And, yeah, man, I can't wait, brother. What else? Yeah, and what a heck of a game to have gotten into, to be your first RPG that you ever played. I'm gonna tell you, my first RPG I ever played, one subset, it was Final Fantasy VII. I had played others, very lightly, like Phantasy Star, Shining Force, it was another one. I can't think of it, but those are the two that stand out that I tried, but I dropped them fast and in a hurry. I was like, nah, that's not going to work for me, brother. Not at all. But Final Fantasy VII, when that came out, good grief, it shook up the world. It shook up the gaming world. Once again, another game that was genre defining. I can almost guarantee most people that played that Final Fantasy VII, they were probably just like myself. They were never into RPGs, but those graphics and those cutscenes were monumental. We had never seen anything on that level before. It was just like, man, your jaw was on the floor when you played that game. 3 discs. I mean, brother, good grief, man. It was just unbelievable. I was with my 2 best friends. They're like my brothers. Shout out to Mark and Renard. We had went to Video Game Exchange. Mark had drove me up there in the old Cavalier that he used to have, the white Cavalier. Man, if that car could talk, good grief, the mischief and things we got into in that car. Man, brother, he drove me up there. They gave me my shirt, my Final Fantasy VII shirt with Cloud on the front. I was so happy that day. God, dog. But, one sub said, thank you for this email. It seems to happen every single show. You guys bring up something and it takes me down memory lane. That's why I absolutely love hearing from y'all. One sub said, like I say, brother, don't make it your last time writing in. I know I butchered your email. Pardon me, brother. Forgive me, but I'll do better next time. Shout out to you, brother. Let's go ahead and let's get into the next. This isn't even an email. This is Mr. Vaughn, who has left us a voicemail. So without further ado, Mr. Vaughn, you go ahead, brother. Take the floor. It is yours.
What's going on, Keon? This is Vaughn. Hey, man, I wanted to call back, let you ask about the PlayStation 5 controller. Got it in, got the charger station in. That controller is nice. For people who like the feel of the Sony PlayStation, the DualShock, not too much difference in the button placement. Got a nice heft to it. It's about the weight of the Xbox controller. They extended the handles on it, the grips on it, and it's got a texture on the bottom. And I was told, or I read somewhere, that the engravings, a little grainy feeling, is actually the Sony symbols. If you look really, really, really close, it's the X, triangle, square, circle buttons, really small. The only negative I would say about it is I don't like that slick plasticky feel that's on the top of it. It's really that slick plastic feeling. But I usually get grips for my controllers anyway. But other than that, man, it's a solid controller. I was able to hook it up to the Switch, believe it or not, and play some games on the buttons. Feel good. So can't wait to try out the haptic feedback. I heard that Miles Morales has a scene in the beginning where he's on the train, and you're able to, subway train, you're able to feel through the buttons when the train is leaning one side to the other when it's going around the curve. So looking forward to that. The other thing I wanted to, in the PlayStation 5, I got a notice it's coming Friday, so I'm real excited about that. Got a place ready for it, and I'm ready to jump on some Miles Morales. My question for you this week is, with these new consoles, what do you do with your old consoles? Do you get rid of them, or do you keep them? I have every console except for the first generation, so I'm just curious to know what you're going to do with yours. All right, that's it for me this week. I'm out. Peace.
Man, shout out to you, Vaughn. Brother, it's always, like I say, brother, it is great to hear from you, man. It truly is. Golly. Vaughn said he got the PlayStation 5 controller in. He said it feels nice. Now, where's one thing you said, Vaughn, brother, that really made my ears kind of perk up? Like, wait a minute, what'd he say? Did you say, Vaughn? Well, I know you said it, brother, but the interesting thing that you said, brother, was with the controller, with Miles Morales being on the subway train, you can actually feel which way the train is leaning through the controller. What? Man, if that is true, God, dog, that is unbelievable. That's the thing, Vaughn. We haven't seen any changes to a controller. And of course, we all got to experience to know if it's really going to live up to the hype of what we've been hearing about. But if it does, if it lives up to the hype, then this will be the first big change to any controllers that we've seen since the N64. That was back in 96. 96 or 97. When did the N64 release? One of those years. But we're talking about over 2 decades later. has there been a possible big change in a controller? Because back then, 96 when the N64 came out, that was the birth of the analog sticks. Once again, shout out to Nintendo and the Rumble Pack. Daggone, I forgot they were both in the same controller. Once again, Nintendo revolutionized gaming again when it came to the controller. So if this controller works as good as people are saying that it does with the triggers, the haptic feedback, Vaughn, you saying that inside of the controller, you can feel how the train is swaying like to the left or to the right. God dog. That's next generation right there, brother. You said, did you like the bottom of it? It felt kind of, good. But you usually get grips for your controller, so it wasn't a big deal. I think you said it might not have been as good as you had hoped, but you had said that it has the symbols on the bottom of it. Good, great. I mean, just a nice touch. And you're right, Vaughn, that is true. They had showed a close-up of that. This was a couple of weeks ago, man. A couple of weeks ago, they were showing the symbols that were ingrained in the controller. I'm pumped up, man. I really hope that it works the way that people are advertising it to, because we need a new change in the controller. And if this catches on, if it does catch on, because you guys remember when the N64 came out, remember the PlayStation, they didn't have the DualShock controller. It wasn't until maybe a year or two later they reworked the controller and made it the DualShock once the analog sticks caught on the N64. Then they put the two analog sticks up there and they changed it because Nintendo once again revolutionized the game with the analog sticks. So my hope is that since this is the beginning of the generation, Microsoft hasn't done much with their controller, right, Vaughn? It's the same thing. They say it feels real good on the bottom. It's a great feeling controller, but it's the same controller. My thing is if this catches on, if this controller, this DualSense controller really is what it's all being said that it is and that it's all cracked up to be, maybe, just possibly, similar to the N64, PlayStation 1 era, maybe Microsoft will go back to the drawing board. We already know they have the Elite controller that they've made this this generation, even though it's ending this generation. So who knows? Maybe they go back to the drawing board and try to re-revolutionize their controller if this PlayStation DualSense does take off. I'm just excited, man. If anything is possible, anything. And I'm really looking forward to it, Vaughn. I am really looking forward to seeing what this controller is cracked up to be. Is it gonna be something just amazing like that first time we touched that analog stick on the N64 and saw a Mario where he could walk, he could jog, and he could run? We had never seen that kind of control before. Absolutely unbelievable. I couldn't believe it. The feeling that I felt playing N64, Mario 64, it was just such a game changer. Is PlayStation on the cusp of being able to do the same thing? We will have to see. But Vaughn, you had asked me another question. With the next generation coming up, what am I going to do with my older systems? Man, brother, similar to yourself, I keep them, brother. I keep them. Very similar to yourself, I have never gotten rid of any of my consoles since around the first generation. And then I ended up getting some of those all over again. Got the Sega Genesis again, got the original Nintendo. I never got the original Atari or any of those back. But Yeah, I'm just going to save them, brother. I'm going to put them back in their respective boxes, respective boxes. And I'm going to just store them away, brother, and have them just as, collector's pieces at that point in time. I don't have any children, but, probably make out a will and give them, to my nieces and my, nephews and, probably pass them down to them. But yeah, I never get rid of any of the stuff that I have, Vaughn, because I'm such a fan of the culture, man, of gaming itself. I want to know that I can go downstairs, in my basement, where it's stored away in tubs and be able to pull out an old console, like the original Nintendo and, hook it up to, man, I don't know what kind of TV I'm gonna hook it up to, depending on what year it might be, but get an older TV possibly to hook it up or something like that. But just the fact that I can have it on standby, it means something to me, Vaughn. So I definitely feel you on that, brother, by just wanting to keep your stuff, and not get rid of it. Cause you never know. I know most of the time, Vaughn, we're never gonna revisit the older generations for the most part. I understand that. Well, I'm not gonna speak for you, brother, but I know for me, I'm never gonna revisit it, but it just feels good to know that if I wanted to, if I ever decided that, you know what, I want to go visit my Sega Genesis that is downstairs and I could just pull it out, or if it's, just the, new generations of gamers in my family are, coming up, just to be able to take them down memory lane, show them the Virtual Boy, show them the Game Gear, all of that stuff. I think it would be just fun just to have it, man. So, but that's me, Vaughn, similar to yourself, brother. But thank you for this voicemail, man. Really, really appreciate it. I'm glad you like the feel of the controller. I'm glad that you're going to be getting your console on Friday. That's fantastic. And yeah, man, I very, very happy for you, brother. I mean, sincerely. And thank you again, Vaughn, from the bottom, brother, from the bottom of my heart, man. Thank you again for the gift card, giving it to the community. Sir William X, he definitely was able to use it. Him and his son, they're going to be enjoying, what was it again? Apex Legends. Yeah. Yes, indeed. So, anyway, please continue to write in, Vaughn, but I'm going to go ahead and get into the final email this week. Once again, Vaughn, you're awesome, brother. Now the final email, this is somebody brand new. I've never seen this person before, but shout out to them. Now, this is coming from Mr. Soligoth, and the title of his email is called Hello. That's the name of his email. I ain't lying to y'all. Hello. That's how it goes. He says, hey, you. Hey, you. Hey. Oh, he says, hey. Man, I messed that up out the gate. Hey, you commented on my videos, so I checked your podcast. Well, I appreciate that, man. He says, well, TLDR, I was drunk real fast. And wait a minute, bro. How the world we get here? He says, I was drunk real fast and recorded some samples of me doing extra versions of your intro. I won't get butthurt. Oh yeah? He says, I won't get butthurt if you don't use them, but they are free. So, I always work for free if you want some one-liners. Well, I appreciate it, brother. He says, regardless, thanks for noticing my videos. If you want to hang out and brew a beer with my bro and I, or talk about drones, hit me up. Thanks for your time, Project Dark Cloud. Oh, man, maybe that was his name, Project Dark Cloud. My apologies, brother. I appreciate this, brother. Thank you very, very much for this. Yeah, man, I think, matter of fact, I gotta shout out Cody, I gotta shout that brother out. He has sent me a link to the video, and I checked it out. It was very interesting. I mean, it looked like, yeah, you guys were brewing up making like beer. It was very interesting, man. So yeah, shout out to you, brother, for checking out the podcast and making some samples. Matter of fact, brother, you worked hard on these samples. I think it is my duty to play these on the show. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna get into some of Mr. Project Dark Cloud's I guess his one-liners of the podcast. So let me go ahead and let's play some of these.
Welcome to the Analog Circle podcast. 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 Welcome to the Analog Circle podcast.
Hey, brother, man, listen, man, when you were recording those, I could feel it, brother. You were saying it with your chest. I appreciated that. Thank you again so much, Project Dark Cloud, for sending those samples in. Who knows, man? I don't know. Maybe I will use some, man. I don't know, brother. Maybe. It's definitely possible. But I truly appreciate the effort, man. And what a heck of a way to close out the show. God dog. So shout out to you again, Project Dark Cloud. Don't let it be your last time, brother. Man, that was the first. I have never had anybody send me samples of introduction to the show. I'm actually flattered, brother. Thank you very, very, very much for that. But guys, that is going to do it for this week's feedback. Listener feedback episode. Now, if you, the listener, if you are still hanging around sipping Crown, shout out to Glove Box for that. That's that brother's catchphrase. I can't take that. That's his. But I do enjoy it when he says it. But if you want to write in and be a part of the next episode of listener feedback, do it two different ways. By all means, you can feel free. You can either call in at 443-216-9934 and let your voice... Whoa, that messed up again. Anyway, man, look, listen, let your voice be heard. God dog, what is going on with my thing here? Or you can email the show, and the email address is the Analog Circle Podcast at gmail.com. I was your host, Keon Mitchell. Man, I want to figure out, let me try that again. Let your man, hold on, we're going to do it right. Let your man, never mind. I'm out of here, guys. As always, I gotta work on this. Go out there, play some games, god darn, and enjoy yourself.